Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Saturday, April 22nd, 2023. Good morning. I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with WWE Smackdown, presented live last night on Fox from the Schatzstein Center in Columbus, Ohio. In the main event, Solo Sikoa defeated Matt Riddle in a no disqualification match, pinning him after delivering the Samoan Spike. Following the bout, Sikoa was joined by Jimmy and Jay Uso, and the trio continued their attack, putting Riddle through a table.
This is a 3-on-1 situation.
And this is how you get back in the good books of the tribal chief, who you know is watching.
Riddle, no idea where he is. 1D! One and done through the table! The Usos sending a message to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who they meet next week in a WrestleMania main event rematch for the tag team title.
Earlier in the program, it was announced that the Usos would get a return shot at Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's undisputed World Tag Team Championship on next week's SmackDown. Intercontinental Champion Gunther retained his title for the 10th time after he put Xavier Woods to sleep after reversing Woods' O'Connor roll attempt.
Can Xavier take advantage?
This is as rock as I've seen Gunther in a long time.
Shoulders down for the Intercontinental Championship for Woods, and a kick out by Gunther at 2. Woods taking Gunther to the limit. The champion stunned.
Trying his best to block the kick.
Stacks him up. Kick at 2, and now the sleeper again by Gunther.
Just has an answer to everything.
Gunther just wrestling Woods to the mat. Sleeper locked in. Woods is out. Gunther retains.
Gunther's Intercontinental title reign now sits at 316 days, 98 days behind Randy Savage, who holds the second longest reign in history. WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez made the first successful defense of their title by defeating Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green after Morgan pinned Green. In other results, Ricochet and Braun Strowman defeated the Viking Raiders when Ricochet pinned Ivar, and in the show opener, the Judgment Day's Finn Balor and Damian Priest defeated Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar of the LWO after Priest pinned Escobar. Other news of note from SmackDown included Damian Priest cutting a promo on Shinsuke Nakamura, promising to take away Nakamura's honor. The returning Zelina Vega was granted a SmackDown Women's title match against Rhea Ripley at the company's Backlash event in San Juan, Puerto Rico on May 6. Two other announcements made for the Backlash card were Seth Rollins against Omos and Austin Theory defending the United States title in a three-way match against Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed. In AEW news, the Wrestling Observer newsletter's Dave Meltzer is reporting that All Elite Wrestling has booked the United Center in Chicago for Saturday, June 17th, and it is expected that the event will serve as both the debut of the company's new Saturday night television show on TNT, as well as the return of CM Punk. In the newsletter, Meltzer wrote, quote, "At press time, everything was not finalized, but the building is booked, and it will likely be announced very shortly when the Punk deal and the TV deal are finalized," end quote. Punk hasn't been seen on AEW programming since his match with Jon Moxley at last September's All Out pay-per-view event, where he suffered a torn triceps, as well as being involved in a backstage fight along with Ace Steel, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega. The United Center was the home for Punk's debut with the company on August 20th, 2021. The show drew a sold-out crowd announced at 15,316 and a gate of over $600,000. That night's episode of AEW Rampage averaged 1.129 million viewers and a .53 in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic, which currently stand as record highs for the program. Turning to Japan, Trinity Fatu, the former Naomi in WWE, has not joined her tag team partner Mercedes Moné in the Japanese-based women's company Stardom due to its parent company Bushiroad attempting to throttle spending, according to a report in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. According to the report, Bushiroad is attempting to keep spending for both Stardom and New Japan Pro Wrestling down due to the severe financial strain suffered by New Japan during the pandemic. Fatu and Monet, the former Sasha Banks, walked out of WWE in May of 2022 while holding the company's women's tag team title. Fatu, who trademarked the name Trinity Star in March, has not wrestled for any promotion since her departure. Monet, who is currently the IWGP World Women's Champion, has made 5 appearances at New Japan and Stardom shows and wrestled 2 matches since signing a short-term deal with Bushiroad, which began this past January 4th. Monet's final appearance of her current deal is set to take place on Sunday at Stardom's All-Star Grand Queendom event in Yokohama. In collectibles news, a 2022 Panini Black Prism trading card of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson sold for $126,000 on Thursday night, according to the PWCC marketplace. The card, which features The Rock delivering the rock bottom on Stone Cold Steve Austin, is literally one of a kind, as only 1 card was produced. In an interview with TMZ Sports, PWCC's Vice President of Sales Jesse Craig stated, quote, "Cards like this rarely surface for public sale since they are so scarce. And when scarcity outweighs public demand, you see record prices. This was the perfect combination to drive that demand," end quote. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.